Greetings, everyone. Welcome back to another episode here on True Confessions, Naija. This is Uncle Ori, and the story you're about to listen to comes from a message we received from one of our sisters, and it goes like this. Hello, Uncle Ori. Hello, everyone. Let me just brace myself for a sec, because wow, what I'm about to spill here, I've been lugging this around forever. Maybe you will think I'm not. Maybe you roll your eyes, whatever. I just can't keep it bottled up anymore. I'm 43 years old today, but my story starts way back in the dusty corners of my childhood. I was born in South Africa, but my father's roots, are from Mozambique. My earliest memories are of the farm, endless fields, the smell of soil, the sound of my mother's hands scrubbing floors, and my father's heavy boots dragging after long hours of labor. You see, my parents met on that farm, but my mother was a maid in the farmhouse. My father worked in the fields. They fell in love in a place where dreams went to die. I started working there when I was only 12 years old, not because I wanted to, but because I had to. My mother needed help, and in the farm, no one cared if you were a child. You had hands, you could walk. But deep inside me, I hated that life. I hated waking up before the sun. Hated the way the farm owners looked at us like we were part of the soil, like we belonged to them. I used to tell them and myself, one day I'll live here. I'll never end up like my parents. At 19, I finally got my chance. My aunt, who lived in town, told me I could stay with her. My cousin worked at the restaurant, and she helped me write my first CV. When I got that job, I couldn't even speak proper English. I remember taking orders from the customers and not understanding a single word. They would laugh, and I'll just smile, pretending not to care. But inside, I cared. I cared so much that I started going to night school. I wanted to break free from my family's fate, a life trapped in the farms. That's where I met her. I'll call her Thandi. Thandi was different. She dressed well, spoke fluent English, and seemed to know everything about life in the city. She told me she liked me, and she wanted to help me succeed. I thought she was just being a friend, but Thandi had her own plans. She started taking me to this club, a strange place. At first, it seemed normal. Music, dancing, expensive drinks. But late into the night, things would change. I'll see rich women, drunk and laughing, suddenly start trying to call their ancestors. They would chant, dance strangely, and sometimes even collapse. I thought it was all a game until the night they made me take part. It was late. The club was almost empty. Thandi handed me something to drink. It burned my throat. Then they made me stand in the center of the room. I don't remember much after that, just voices. My own voice, but not my words. My ancestors were speaking through me. That was when my life changed. From that night, I started feeling different, heavy, like something had opened inside me that I couldn't close. I began getting sick. My parents argued about what to do. My father wanted to take me to Mozambique to perform rituals and find out what my ancestors wanted. My mother refused. She didn't trust my father's people. She even told me to cut contact with him completely. But he was still my father. I couldn't just pretend he didn't exist. Whenever I visited him secretly on the farm, I noticed he was getting weaker. Years of working under the sun had broken him. Then one day, his boss told him to stop working. Not out of kindness, oh no. They just didn't want him to die on their land, because if he did, they would have to pay his family compensation. My father had worked there for over 20 years, but they pushed him away with empty promises of sending him his salary every month. He never received a cent. One day, my father asked me if I wanted to travel with him to Mozambique to meet his relatives. I didn't think twice. I said yes. I wanted to see where he came from and where I also came from. But if I had known what was waiting for me there, I would never have gone. We arrived in Mozambique. and my father's family welcomed us warmly. But soon everything changed. My father died while we were still there. I had to stay for his burial. After the burial, they told me we had to perform rituals on me before I could return to South Africa. We climbed a mountain they said was forbidden. At the top, there were springs of water. They told me to go alone to one of the springs to wash my body. I obeyed, but when I turned around, they were gone. The sun went down, and I realized I was alone. No shoes, no food, no idea where I was. I wandered for hours and slept under the cold sky, terrified of every sound. The next day, I walked for 7 kilometers until I found a village, but it was the wrong one. They told me the place I was looking for was in the opposite direction. I had to walk through a dense and thick forest to find my way back. When I finally arrived, my father's relatives celebrated. They said my ancestors had guided me back, proof that I was truly part of their bloodline. They gave me a small calabash of traditional beer. It smelled like rotten eggs. That night, I had my first nightmare. I was swimming in a river of blood, my womb falling out of my body. From that day, my life was cursed. Back in South Africa, I started dating again. The first man I slept with complained of an STI the very next day. We went to the clinic, but no treatment worked. He left me, and weeks later, he passed away. That same thing happened to the next man, and the next. 4 men in total. It didn't matter if we used protection. They still got sick. Their manhood would swell. They would be in pain. And then they would just die. I visited several traditional healers. They all told me the same thing. When I went to Mozambique, one of my relatives saw that I had a gift. The gift to heal people, brought by my ancestors. They stole that gift from me and replaced it with a curse. Now I'm afraid to love, afraid to touch any man, afraid of myself. That's my story. If you listened all the way to the end, I want you to understand something. Not all battles are fought in the open. Some are fought deep in the spiritual world, where rules are older than the earth itself. I'm still searching for a way to break free, but until then, I live in fear of the gift that was taken from me and the cost that replaced it. Sharing this with you has been important to me, and I look forward to engaging with your responses in the comments. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sisters. Let us try to help her with good advice in the comment section. Things they really happen for this our world. Now, wow.